So you're considering moving to Lake Nona, but you don't know if it's a great place for you or not. Well, I'm going to go over the pros and cons. That way you know if Lake Nona could be a great choice for you and your family to move to, or maybe it might not be a good fit for you at all. Let's go ahead and talk about it. When you're living in Lake Nona, you want to understand that you're probably in one of the most vibrant, newest communities that has ever been developed as of right now in Central Florida. So Orlando has amazing master plan communities, don't get me wrong, but Lake Nona has taken it up a notch. It's a very vibrant community, very central in location, and it's about 30 minutes away from Disney, just so you get perspective. 10-15 minutes if you take 417 and go to the airport. So it is very centralized, and that's probably one of the greatest pros of living in Lake Nona. So I know I mentioned the airport on the last one, and that's great to be close to the airport, but there's also a downside being close to the airport as well. When I was filming a video, it's a video about the tour of Lake Nona, and you could see it right up here after you watch this one. Basically, I found out that the airport is right around the corner, and that could be a great thing and a bad thing because of the noise. Now, yes, you're gonna hear airplanes fly overhead almost every 5 minutes when they're landing, and most of them are commercial airplanes. So that could be a downside for you if you want peace, tranquility, and you don't want any noise at all. So that's something else to consider when moving to Lake Nona. I think one of the most awesome things about Lake Nona is going to be the amenities the communities provide. One really in particular is Laureate Park. It's probably one of the greatest master plan communities in Lake Nona. And so the reason why I want to discuss this is because they have an amazing full-blown gym called Laureate Park Fit. They also have 3 pools, not just one, 3 pools, one resort style with 0 entry, like as if you're going into the beach. I don't know if you've ever been to those pools, but they're absolutely amazing. And then you have 1 lap pool and then a normal pool as well. So 3 pools in one area. And I think that's super beneficial if you're planning on moving here, especially if you love pools. You can also have a pool on your house as well. So there are opportunities there as well. But as far as the amenities goes, you already have a community one, so it might not even be necessary. They also have amazing basically restaurants in the area, like Chroma. You have Park Pizza. It has basically a microbrewery inside Park Pizza. You have Bosphorus, which is a Turkish place. We had an amazing meal there. I already mentioned before, it's like a meat platter with everything you want. And Park Pizza has some unique pizzas. There's one that has prosciutto and it's great. And then they have a spicy pepperoni. And then you have Chroma where they sell little bites to eat. Obviously, that's a great part of living in Lake Nona. They also have this amazing place called Boxy Park, which is shipping containers that have basically smaller versions of restaurants within them. They also serve beer there. They have live music. So there's just so much to do there that you have no worries at all. And don't forget, they also have the Beep, which is a small little bus that gets you around Lake Nona, and it drives itself. And if they can't drive it, then they'll use a remote control to drive it manually. How cool is that? But they definitely do have that. And so it will shuttle you to and from Laureate Park, and it doesn't go that fast. It does drive itself. There is an operator inside, so don't worry, it's completely safe. So that's why I think Lake Nona is probably an awesome place to live. And that's definitely a pro in my book, especially if you're living really close to it like Laureate Park.
All right, I'm in.
All right, I want to talk about a con. This one's pretty bad. I mean, it's not that bad, but I mean, you can't help this when you have a developing community that everybody wants to be a part of. And that is the traffic on Narcoossee. Narcoossee is an amazing street that started the whole thing. It connects, basically, if you're going down to Orlando, it's a road that you can take with no tolls. And so that's the amazing part about it. And so a lot of people are going to take that road. It's going to be busy in the morning hours and the night hours. So just be prepared for that if you decide to move there. And if you do have to take that road, just be prepared to have a lot of traffic. I've heard complaints of people taking 30 to 45 minutes to get out of that area because you have traffic from St. Cloud going down that way, down Narcoossee, and then you have traffic from Lake Nona. So just something to consider when you're moving there, that Narcoossee is a very busy street and you have to get used to the traffic in the area. All right, let's talk about it. Something very important nobody's going to tell you about until you actually get to the closing table. Just kidding. Actually, when you start your search here, they're going to mention something called a CDD. A CDD is something that's called a community development district. What does that mean? It's basically bonds that have been taken out to go ahead and develop the area. They pass that expense on to the people that are living in the area, and they pay those bonds for 30 years. Now let's give an example so you understand. If you're to purchase a resale property and the bonds were 30 years bonds that you had to pay, and you bought the property 3 years into those bonds, you don't restart the process. You would just pay 27 years of bonds at that point. So it's not, eventually those community development district bonds will disappear at some point, but they are there to stay, and it is an added expense, and it varies. It does vary on price. Also, most of Lake Nona is going to have an HOA. So if you're looking for an area that doesn't have an HOA, Lake Nona might not be a fit for you. So that's something else to consider. And that's why I think you should definitely give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, because people are doing that every single day. So we can help them find a location here in Central Florida, because we work really hard in helping people relocate here with the right area. And so that's why you need to know that there's a CDD in the area. There's also an HOA. They both vary based on how big your house is. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. And it's fair, to be honest, it's fair. So that's why you need to reach out to us. You need to reach out to us so we can help you figure these things out and see if it's a great fit for you or not, or if the CDD is going to be too much for you, or if you want something with or without an HOA. So let's talk about one con, another con, another con, and another con. Just kidding. This is another con about how the area is developing. And so a lot of people might not want to live like this, but honestly, there is a lot of construction going on in that area. And the reason for this is because it used to be a cow town. It used to be full of cows and pastures and, big open fields. Now it's being developed commercially by dentist offices, stores, shops, and all these great things to help accommodate the people that live in the area. So just be aware that there's going to be a lot of construction in the area. There's still a lot of new construction homes going on all over the place close to Lake Nona. So just be aware that you're going to be surrounded by construction. And if you're okay with that, then it might be a great fit for you, but it's something to consider when moving here to Lake Nona. All right. So we've been talking about cons. Let's go ahead and talk about a pro. So you can live where you work. And what do I mean by this? Lake Nona is surrounded by hospitals. We have Immerse. My wife actually works there. I absolutely love it. Great company. It's for the kids. So great place to work at. They also have the Ronald McDonald House right next door to help with charity events to get those kids the help they need. We have also the Veterans Center. We have basically the UCF Hospital of Medicine, where kids study how to become amazing doctors in the industry. So we have so many little boutique offices, like dentist offices as well, and things of that nature. We also have stores, shops. We have 2 hotels in the area. One is called the Wave Hotel, absolutely beautiful hotel. And then you have the Marriott as well. So you have a couple of options when it comes to work. And even outside of like the center of Lake Nona, you also have fast food chains. You have big box stores, and they're also developing a shopping center right in the middle of Lake Nona. So there is plenty of job opportunities to stay within the area. And I think that's one huge benefit of living in such a new, vibrant community here in Central Florida. All right, let's talk about something that's very important, and it's the variation in houses. There's so many different kinds of houses that you can look at in Lake Nona, from townhomes to single family homes to multi-million-dollar homes. There's a little bit for everybody. And that's why you need to reach out to us and call us, because you might not want a townhome, or you might want it and you didn't know that you wanted it, because there are added benefits to living in townhomes. Like, you don't have to cut the grass, you don't have to paint outside, you don't have to change the roof. Like, usually some of these townhomes will take care of some of these things, and obviously we'd have to take a look into exactly what they cover to make sure that you're good to go. But there's that. There's also single family homes that have garage apartments above them. And if you want to see a house like that or a single family home like that, They're still building in the area. I have a video right up here that I'm gonna put up there, and it is a full-blown tour of Lake Nona. I think you should take a look at it. And don't forget to reach out to us so we can help you find that house. We are happy to help you as long as you reach out, because that way you can tell us what you like, what you don't like, and then we could place you in the place that you would love to live for years and years to come. So make sure you reach out to us. We'll put our phone number right up here, and make sure you check out that video that I was discussing. That way you get a full-blown tour of the area. Trust me, you're gonna be amazed. So that's definitely one of the pros, is the variety of house. There's also multi-million-dollar mansions that are like these modern homes that will absolutely blow your mind. So make sure that you let us know which one is the one that you want, which one's the one you're thinking about, if you want to be on the lake, if you don't want to be on the lake. All these things matter. So in any case, I would say that is a huge pro, is that you have a variety of homes to choose from and that suit your needs, because not everybody's needs are the same, and that's okay. And that's why they made such a variety. All right, so we got to go to the cons, right? Because we were here to tell you the bad things as well. So one huge con is 417 is going to be your only highway that's located the closest to Lake Nona area. And the reason why that can be a con is because at some point when the area is super developed, it could cause a lot of traffic. And so just consider that. There's nothing bad with 417. That actually connects all the way down to Disney, literally all the way down to Disney. It also connects, if you go the other way, away from Disney, it's going to connect to the 528, which also connects to the I-4, but more on the lower part of I-4, close to Universal Studios. So, I mean, there are ways to get around. It's just that that's the only highway that they have. So just something to think about when you're moving there, especially with the growth in the area. It can put a damper on the highway. I'm sure they will accommodate when the time comes to widen the lanes and things of that nature, so there's no issues, but it's just something to consider if you're planning to move there, and also to make sure you pocket at least, or not pocket, but at least have an expense for at least $50 to maybe even $100, just depending on how much you're traveling outside of Lake Nona and how often you're going to use that toll road. So something to consider when moving to Lake Nona. Finally, I saved the best for last because I think it's absolutely awesome. I was telling my brother-in-law the other day about this place. He had no idea it existed. It's called Adventure Park. I think it's a cool part about being in the neighborhood is that you have your own little things to do while you're there, and you don't have to really leave. And I think that's a huge benefit about living in Lake Nona. And Adventure Park is basically a wakeboarding, kneeboarding lake that pulls you around on a line, and you could jump on ramps, you could grind, you could also do a rope course that you climb up. You also have a obstacle course that's floating on the water and a small little beach. They have food and beer. I remember we used to go there the first time I went there. We rode our bikes up Narcoossee, came back, and we grabbed a beer at the Adventure Park, and it was absolutely beautiful because you have the lake right there. So one thing I would suggest is go check that out. It's absolutely amazing, worth your time to go there, worth at least a stop by. It's really close to the hospital over there on the Veterans Hospital. You can see it from there. So check out Lake Nona's Adventure Park. You won't be disappointed. Great place to take the family and have a great time.
Wow, well, I'm sold.
So those are the pros and cons. That's pretty much it. And if you like Lake Nona and you want to live there, feel free to give us a shout. And if it's something you didn't like, that's perfectly fine. Not every place is made for everybody. And that's why if you reach out to us, we can help you relocate from wherever you're coming from. And that's the whole point in us making these videos, because we want to make sure that you get the truth and you know exactly what's going on in this area, because making the move is not easy. It's very difficult. And so with that being said, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We're here for you at any moment that you need us. And all you got to do is call and let us know what you're looking for, what you're thinking about, and we'll point you in the right direction, whether it's Lake Nona or some other area close by, because not every community that we talk about could be a fit for you. And I know that if we have that conversation, we'll be able to know exactly where to place you, and we want to make sure that you're happy too. So thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video so I know that I'm doing a great job of making these videos. And be sure to leave it in the comments. What do you think would be the downside of living in Lake Nona? And what do you think would be the plus for you based on what I said in this video? And don't forget to look at this video the video of where I actually tour the whole entire community. That way you don't miss out on anything that you're going to be seeing if you decide to move here, at least check out the neighborhood. Take care, guys.